Good evening, mi gente. We're in Tennessee this evening, kind of doing some studying up on how I can improve myself every day. Currently listening to Think and Grow Rich. If you're one of the open-minded individuals that understands the inherent strength of decision making and using your mind and imagery to help you achieve things, I highly recommend that read. It's awesome. It's got a lot of great information in it. The editor's notes has a lot of really cool stories, even from the past into now. Also, if you're big into history and like the past, or just studying up on the past, it's got a lot of great stuff with that in it too. One of the main things that I want to talk about today was most people understand that growth isn't linear, and I think I learned that the fastest because of the gym. For example, one of the things that I was chasing for a long time when I first started was really good numbers with calisthenics. So the 25 pull-ups, 50 dips straight, 100 push-ups straight, being able to run a mile for a good time, things that are kind of in the athletic realm and not really so much in the gym. But I was also with friends that were pursuing strength more in the weightlifting side of things. So via osmosis, I also started chasing some of those goals. And one of the things that I didn't realize, maybe till the end of these 2 years where I was really grinding really hard and coming up on a burnout, was I was neglecting to feed myself properly for what I was doing. But it was perfect for just what I was focusing on, but not for the whole encompassing goal of being an athletic machine that had really good calisthenics benchmarks, but also being really impressive in the weight room. And ultimately what it boiled down to was I just wasn't really eating enough, and I was being too aggressive with what I was doing, and I wasn't giving myself any time to rest. When I came back from that burnout, I realized that gains are very intentional. And depending on what you're just apt at already, you have to do extra things to feel like you need to catch up to somebody else. One of my main goals, I was like 145, 155 for the longest time. I was kind of stuck fluctuating between there. So 225 on bench for me was the first goal, and just rough. And one of the goals that I had, or still have today, is 315 on bench. I've hit it a couple times, but I'll have it 1 week and it's just out the next week. So that's still one of my main goals. But as I was climbing to that, my first one was being able to do 225. And that felt like a nightmare, because I realized that my calisthenics gave me great fundamentals, which in life we can study up on things or practice to give us really great fundamentals. But ultimately the exposure to the activity or the subject that we're trying to improve on, or in this example, the weight, is the only way to get better at it. One of the things that I learned from a buddy of mine who specializes in powerlifting is he would grab these movements that we would do and he'd break them down so that we would be exposed more to those range of motions. So we would do bench, we would go heavy bench, do some working sets, and then we would do floor press, which only let us go obviously to 90 degrees and work on the top half of the bench. And then we would go and do pin presses, where we would slide a bench on some pins and we'd be at the bottom part and then push from the bottom all the way through the motion. So we had different focuses. And even though we benched already, we were able to break up the movement to gain more specialization in the bottom and the top and all the way through. And a lot of the times, those are the things that are necessary for you to level up in life. You need to learn how to grab what you're trying to practice on and learn how to break it up. So for the gym with me, it was being able to grab the movement that I'm struggling with or trying to improve on, but I'm plateauing because I'm not gaining weight, or I'm working on gaining weight, so I have to push myself to eat a little more, but I also need to have my frame be exposed to heavier weight and do different things to figure that out. Another really good one that helped me was just unracking really heavy weight that I couldn't either do safely negatively but just hold. That's also great. And a lot of the times we have to find different ways to expose ourselves to things that we're weak to end up getting stronger. And I want to say that one of the biggest limitations that people have when it comes to improving in a skill or just getting better honestly at anything is if they can't do the thing pure, like just out of the gate, that they're like genetically not gifted for it, or they're not smart enough to do whatever they're pursuing, or they're not skilled enough to even try it. And that is incredibly incorrect. And I think we're living in a society right now where talent is very praised and has a lot of light shined on it. But what really gets overlooked is discipline. And discipline will always beat talent any day of the week. I've got really good fundamentals genetically because my parents were awesome in the sense that they were both really active when they were young, and they were reaching really crazy, benchmarks physically that they gifted me with. So I do have that, and I'm very grateful for it. But even outside of that strong fundamental, I still needed to do things to reach a higher level. I can't just rely on my physical talent and just kind of already being someone that can watch someone do a movement and then attempt it and mimic it perfectly. There still needs to be an element of discipline that helps me level up, and that exposure is really it. And a lot of the times, doing, for example, like long reps, where it's just like one portion of it, or short ones, which is the other portion of it, will help you. And I think you shouldn't not even I think, bro. Honestly, I'm telling you that you shouldn't discredit yourself from just doing the thing, even if you think you suck. Because if you don't suck in the beginning, how are you supposed to get better? You can't just attempt 315 without ever touching a bench or being under a bar on a bench, right? So the more you expose yourself to something, you are inevitably going to do it. It's like luck. As long as you are improving and staying prepared and continue to go after whatever goal you're reaching, luck will inevitably catch up to you and have you succeed. But if you're never exposing yourself to the goals you're trying to reach, you're going to ultimately fail. And I'm pretty grateful. Like right now, if we're talking about bench specifically, which I've been talking about the whole time, I do it 4 times a week. Because I've come to learn that because I'm a smaller guy, that I have to bench more for my body to be used to, 2x my body weight, getting close to 2x my body weight on that movement. And I've accepted, like, hey, I can't hit as heavy as I want to all the time, and there I have to give really intentional breaks if I want to maintain that. And having that like mentality of understanding, like, okay, I suck at this right now, but as long as I keep doing it, I'm going to find the tricks that work for me and help me improve. Whether it be with studying, a position at work, a new hobby that you're trying to go through or like get into, or even a new profession. You just need to continue to expose yourself, find ways to break up what you're doing, to study up on it, and just get better. There is merit to exposure. There is merit to just being around the thing you're trying to get better at. And there's also merit to doing the super fundies and doing the end of it. Because it's ultimately going to come together once you've been doing all the practice and give you the results you're looking for. So all that to say, don't discredit yourself from doing something you may not feel you are ultimately equipped to do, because your body and your mind, your nervous system, your senses, they will all adapt to the thing you want them to do because you're constantly pushing them to do it, whether it be in the weight room, in life, or spiritually. Intentionally pursue what you're doing, break it up into digestible forms, and ensure that you are setting yourself up for the best results. I believe in you, and if you want to learn a little more about yourself, make some discoveries, and find a way to move some of the brush that may be in the path of your life, hit me up on Instagram, man. Let's connect. Let's do this life thing together, because ultimately, community conquers all. Love you. I believe in you. You can do this. Rock on.